viewing this, I hope you have had a great day. I hope God has blessed you in some fantastic way. This evening, well, today we're going to be talking about tell me how you get married. Just so, and my guest today, as part of which is Aniss Robinson. Welcome, Aniss. Aniss has been married for 23 years, and we are going to chat with her this today about some of what has happened over those 23 years. So the first thing, Aniss, I want to ask you is, they talk about little girls. Little girls have dreams of their wedding. Some little girls, not all. When you were growing up, did you think that you would get married?
Yes, I always wanted to get married. That was my dream, to marry and have a family and settle down, because my mom, she was not married, so I always wanted to get married.
Okay. So what did it look like in your dream? Like when you were thinking about getting married, what was
I always wanted a garden wedding, and I wanted it to be really beautiful, but unfortunately I didn't have a garden wedding.
Oh dear.
I got married at the church.
Was that your choice? You just decided, or your husband and you just decided that the church was...
As time goes along, things change. So that was a little girl's dream, but then they got older and became a Christian and so on. Then we just decided to get married at church.
Okay, nice. So how did you meet your husband? How did y'all first meet? Was it Google eyes, or was it love at first sight?
Well, that's a long time ago, but I was trying to see how much I can remember. I met my husband at church. And I remember that I went to a church service, and they said who wanted a husband to come in the line.
Oh, right.
So I went in the line, and he went in the line, but I didn't, at that time we were just members. So I saw the thing, and I prayed for us, and that was that. Then I went back to my church, and I remember a Friday night, I think he was doing something to the young people. I really admire how he was dealing with the young people and so on. And I just admire him. And it was not that big crush, and I grew to love him. That's all I could tell you. I can remember. But he said to me that he asked me if I liked him. And I said no, because he had visited me at my home. And I walked him all the way down to the church door. And when I got by the church door, I said, yes, I like you. I like you. I can't remember.
So he remembers, you don't remember that?
Yes, I remember that. And I remember out of a kind gesture, he was talking, and he said he had to wash some clothes. Honestly, as I sitting here, it was a kind gesture. I just said, if I was near you, I'll help you wash some of your clothes. And he go head over heels and say, I fall in love with him. I want to wash his clothes. So that's his story.
That's his story, and he's sticking with it.
Yeah. So I just leave it at that.
So y'all were actually at two different churches?
No, I was at that church.
Oh,
the same member of the same church. We were the same members of the same church.
Oh, okay. And y'all were doing two different types of ministry?
Well, actually, I was a young convert. Basically, really, I was not at that church really a long time. I can't remember the dates in my head, but I was not there a very, very long time.
Okay. And how long did y'all court for? How long were y'all courting?
I'm not even so sure. I believe it probably, I don't know, maybe a year or less than a year, because many people were concerned that I was a young convert and he was dating a young convert. So I can't remember how long it was. It was not really a long time, because I got engaged. In December and married in June.
Oh, you were in June, right?
Yes.
Oh. So tell me a little bit about how that period was like. Okay, I'm engaged now. I'm planning. Was it just straight into planning the wedding, or did y'all do counseling? Do you remember?
I can't remember if we did counseling. If we did counseling, I am not sure it was a lot of counseling.
Okay.
I am not so sure. I can't remember.
But so tell me about the period then between the engagement and the actual wedding. How was that for you?
Well, it was a lot of mixed emotions because I was living at my mom and leaving home to go and live with your husband to be. So it apparently I was happy in a way, but still, you're going into something new, so I don't know what to expect. And then, so it was a kind of little nervy and still a little excited to be on your own and start your family and so on like that.
Yeah. And the wedding planning, how was the wedding planning?
Well, the wedding planning came along very well because my maid of honor helped me a lot.
Okay.
And I'm such a blessed and wonderful young lady that lots
I will agree with that, people. She is.
Lots of my friends just donate lots of stuff. So I was really, really blessed. And I have a really, really sweet mother-in-law, sweet mother-in-law. She raised the chickens. And we really had a lovely wedding. I was very, very blessed.
Yeah. So tell me about the wedding, the day before the wedding.
Oh,
can you remember the day before the wedding?
The day before the wedding?
Was that a big wedding or a small?
Yes, I think we had about 200 something or so because I invited the whole church.
Clearly.
Because when you're familiar, well loved by everybody. Okay. So I can now.
So y'all just invited the whole church?
Yeah, yes. And then our family members are very big. His family is big too.
Okay.
So it was in the women's center. It was catered as your Holiness Church.
Right.
And then we went to the reception, the women's St. Peter. Okay. And then we had one at Samlar's Castle.
Oh, that's real long.
Yeah.
It'll come back. Yeah, so you had a big wedding. Because I don't know if people have those big weddings anymore. Yeah. So it was, you said people pitched in, so was it like somebody cook a pot here or
no. The members of my church, my children godmother, they usually at church, the hospitality team.
Right.
So because I told you we're well loved, they just cook all the food.
Right. Because I know people usually bring us food.
Right, they cook all the food. And some people bought stuff and other doing stuff and they cook the food, so that was good. So
church, it was actually a church day. It was like a Sunday morning wedding,
or it was a Saturday. The 7th of June, a Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Hey.
Lovely.
Hey, are you still smiling?
Oh yes, this is what I was telling you. You asked me about before. Girl, I was so nervous. I had to go to the doctor this Saturday morning to calm my nerves.
Seriously?
And he gave me some medication to keep me relaxed. I was so nervous. Anyway,
yes, 23 years ago.
Yes. So I got to church and you could just see the flowers shaking in my hand. I was really scared. Yes. And my dad came in from New York, my sister, so it was beautiful.
And I'm sure y'all talked about it after, but how did your husband say he felt like before you went?
The morning he said he went in the yard and he said, what am I putting myself in, or am I sure some little statement like that? He started probably get a bit nervous, I don't know, And he said that.
Yeah.
Otherwise everything
was good.
Yeah.
And then so the wedding day happens and then you had honeymoon at Sam Lord's.
Yes.
How was that?
Oh, that was lovely. Nerve-wracking because
but y'all know.
Yeah, because a Christian and you're living by the Christian principles,
right.
Marriage first before you get into a relationship. Yeah. So that probably how that would be.
So no sex before marriage, people.
Correct.
Right. So so the first night was kind of a little
nervy because
a little uncomfortable because getting to explore each other.
Right, yeah.
Do you think that's important though? I mean, looking back on it, because I know everybody doesn't have that experience, but what do you think was the value of saving yourself for your husband?
Well, living according to the church, what the Bible says on marriage first, I think it's really a good idea to wait until you're married and to get into that sort of relationship. I really think so. It works well because I already had a son. And I'm bringing a son into the marriage. That's another episode we'll probably get into another time. Because that is really a big issue when you have a child out of wedlock and they come into marriage, you know, it gets a kind of a bit funny, you know, because the first thing you tell you're not my dad, you can't tell, you know, but that's another time, another episode.
Yeah, we get into that. Blending family, blending your family is another dynamic, as you would say. But it worked. So how old was your son when you got married?
He was, I think about 6 or 7, really.
So the experience of the honeymoon, do you think, because sometimes people do their honeymoon, sometimes they leave it till, you know, they postpone it till later. What do you think is important about the honeymoon period?
I think it is best to do the honeymoon at the same time because you have the excitement from the wedding, on all the emotions and adrenaline. So I think it would be really nice to do the honeymoon after the wedding.
Do you think you learned that time in isolation with each other? Isolation sounds bad now.
Every time you have a lot of fun and, you know, enjoying each other's company and, you know, chit-chatting, no kids, that's my thing. That was really nice.
So it was just the two of you.
Yes,
you got to learn a lot more about each other.
Yeah, and eventually after that, then, you know, you're living together, so then you get to learn a lot more. But at that moment, you're just enjoying each other's company and, you know, talking and going for walks, just your husband, you know. It was really nice.
So 23 years, I mean, that is not a short time.
Yes, definitely.
Not a short time. And I know everything I know of you, it's a happy 23 years. It's not a whole loss 23 years. What would you say? What advice would you give to, you know, people either now about to get married or thinking about, you know, that they would like to get married in the future? What advice would you give?
Well, speaking, I would say get good counseling. And good godly counseling. And as a Christian, first of all, you know, you would say, wait on God and let God guide you and lead you. But I think good counseling and good communication skills, being able to talk to each other and really, you know, let your feelings or your emotions out and working together and don't try to change the person because people like to change. Right. So don't try to change the person, and you have to compromise, and you also have to work with the person's strengths. And once you got good unity and good communication, and you go into this, you're willing to work at your marriage, do whatever it takes, good things to make your marriage work. Read books, because I was not always at this where I'm at now. Right. You know, I came in with different emotions and so on from the past and everything. But I always had this thing in me that no man is ruling me. So I came in with that concept. So it was not really all of that, because good as I would like it to be at first, you know, different characters now, you know, characteristics about the person and so on. But so it would have been a lot of conflict and, you know, personalities clash. But then I had to come to a place in my life where I, as a Christian, I reach out to God and build my relationship with God. So if I want to please God, then automatically I don't want to please my husband. So that is how I was able to transition to where I am at now. I read books and I talk to people with experience and I apply those things to my marriage. And that is how I get to the place when I'm happily married now. Just came off a birthday celebrations at the Barbados Beach Club last week.
Listen, and Aniss is no stranger to us. So what she's saying is actually factual. The first time we met Aniss, we was like, wow, this woman is happily married. And I just want to thank you, Aniss, for being a light and a beacon for marriage, and, you know, for people who are thinking about marriage, just to have good examples, you know. So thank you very much for sharing this time with us, and I appreciate you.
You're welcome anytime, and anytime you can feel free to just call me now. I'm there.
Great.
Thank you.